I was effectively fired, but soon they realized they screwed up big time. I'll try to keep the essence as brief as possible, but first, a little context. I worked for 9 years at a well-known company that is a global supplier of various products. I won't name the company, but I worked in one of its divisions. I started at the company in the lowest technician position, did my job well, and quickly moved up the career ladder. After 6 years, I was promoted to the national support team, where I also excelled. It was a well-paid position with a great schedule, all in all, a wonderful promotion. A year later, I was promoted again to an operator role with expanded responsibilities. I shared this position with another employee. We were good friends and got along great. We still grab lunch together sometimes and talk often. I was trained on internal software developed by their own in-house developer, which managed the distribution of technicians. This software used codes to designate regions and states. The system was very complex, but their developers were fine with it, even though there was no documentation, no manual, nothing. The guy who held this position before me was leaving the company for a better offer, so he trained me for a month. Naturally, I wrote down all the codes for all the regions, so I wouldn't make mistakes since there was no manual or instructions. Eventually, he left the company. A year later, the developer of this software passed away from cancer, and now no one but me knew how to use the program. Because of this, my ability to take time off became extremely limited. I constantly asked to train a backup so I could go on vacation, but I was constantly refused. As a result, I could only take 2 days off at a time. My wedding was coming up, followed by a planned honeymoon, but they still refused to let me train a replacement. When my colleague and I took over the new department, it was total chaos. The wait time for guaranteed equipment repair was about 8 days, which really annoyed clients since these machines were used constantly for work. We brainstormed and came up with a solution to significantly reduce downtime, but it put huge pressure on logistics. We started shipping parts to technicians in the field overnight. The logistics manager hired enough staff to handle it, and everything started working quite well. It turned out to be a great solution. We cut the average downtime from 8 days to 2. Clients were constantly expressing gratitude for how much our service had improved and said they were very happy with the repair speed. This is where everything starts to go sideways. The manager wanted to move up the career ladder and needed to find someone for his position. Naturally, my partner and I applied, since we knew how to run the department and were confident we'd do a great job. However, the open position was given to a friend of the manager who had no experience in our department. In fact, he was a buyer in logistics and had absolutely no idea how to manage our department, nor did he have any technical experience. He got the job, and from the very beginning, this complete idiot decided to change our way of working to reduce the load on logistics. My partner and I immediately protested his changes, but it had no effect. When he ordered us to implement these changes, I refused, and so did my partner. For several weeks, we argued with the manager's friend, who is now my boss, and he got angrier and continued to insist on his changes. We refused again. I sent an email to his boss explaining the situation and pointing out that this would increase repair times and our clients would be very unhappy. By that time, our client base had grown 20-fold, and satisfaction levels across all our reviews were above 90%. However, these emails and everything my partner and I explained